Sony has done it again.
So it's finally here, the PS5 Pro. And I remember way back in the day when I bought the PS1, I couldn't afford it originally, and I had to wait a couple of years, and then I bought it off a dude at school, and it came with a bunch of bootleg games. Now listen, I do not condone piracy in any way, that was just the deal that I got at the time. Anyway, I did buy this with my own money, Sony did not send this to me, so don't think that this is going to be some kind of biased first impressions video. And I was up until 2 AM last night on my old PS5 getting my ass kicked on Call of Duty Warzone. And back in the day they used to call me the Games Master, but now...
Good at getting his ass kicked. He should call himself Ass Kick instead.
So once I get this out of the box and set it up, I will test it out and give you guys my genuine first impressions. If I notice any significant improvements, I will of course highlight those. If it looks the same as the PS5 that I was playing last night, well then I will be a little bit disappointed. Check it out, this is my brand new What Gear unboxing knife. Something happened to my Ninja knife. I have no idea where it is right now. So I forgot to mention the significant upgrades that you should get with this particular console. So you got the Spectral Super Resolution, so hopefully better quality 4K picture. We've got optimized performance on the console, so instead of having ray tracing or frame rates prioritized, now you can have both. We'll see how that plays out. So first out of the box, we do have a controller. It's not the DualSense Edge, unfortunately, it's a regular DualSense, but still a very, very good controller. Nice and box fresh. Got the UK power lead. Let's see how long this cable is because my console might be quite far away. Looks to be about 1.8 meters, maybe 2 meter cable. Then we have the HDMI cable. I've got a feeling this is going to be 1.8 meters as well. It will be a HDMI 2.1 obviously, otherwise it wouldn't support the 4K and all that stuff at 120 Hertz. Yeah, it's about 2 meters max, 1.8 maybe. And then we have a USB-C to C for the controller charging. Again, this is probably the same length, so you couldn't really use this one whilst playing unless you're sitting right up close to the console. Now this is something new. What's this? I literally do not have a clue what this is for, but I guess I'm going to find out. Alright, now the console itself. Hidden underneath the console was the paperwork for this, so quick start guide, a little bit of compliance, bit of paper, safety guide, and also a guarantee. So here it is, the PS5 Pro console. Is definitely more narrow here on the width, and it definitely looks a bit taller than the original PS5. I'll have to put it side by side to see how different it is. So here's the back of the PS5 Pro. We've got massive vents down the back here. We've got the HDMI port, a LAN port, 2 USB-A ports with a little 10 marked next to them, which probably indicates they're 10 gigabits per second. And then we have the power in, Kensington lock at the top here. Then on the front side, we had the power button and 2 USB-Cs. Now we only had one on the regular PS5. And again, these are going to be 10 gigabits per second. So on the base of the console, we got even more vents here. We have a little, what appears to be a cover. That's probably for the stand, which isn't in the box, unfortunately. There's also some subtle markings here, Dolby Atmos and DTS HD. And on the bottom corner here, we have a bit of raised PlayStation branding. And then also there's the PlayStation logo cut out here at the top. Okay, as I was clearing away the packaging, I realized there was 2 of these in the box. And then I had to do something that I pretty much never do these days. I had to read the quick start guide, and then I quickly discovered, because it's actually the first thing on the quick start guide, that these are feet for the console when it's horizontal. And that explains what those little cutouts are in the vents on the back of the PS5. So those will literally, hopefully, click in to these, and that should create a nice even surface if you are going to be putting the PS5 Pro horizontal, which is probably something you will do on day one unless you bought the stand with your PS5 Pro, unless you plan to risk standing it up vertical without having the stand. But also, if you do that, you got to remember you're going to be blocking those vents down there at the base of the console. So maybe this would be the better option on day one, and I might end up having to buy the stand. Anyway, now let's get this set up downstairs and let's see if I can notice any significant differences between this and my current PS5 that I was playing last night. Okay, so here's a quick side-by-side comparison between the PS5 regular edition with the disc drive and the brand new PS5 Pro. And when I was setting this up over here, I noticed this beautiful game that I literally just bought 2 weeks ago.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
But there is some upside. So now I have 2 terabytes of storage as opposed to 1 terabyte here. I've also got 2 USB-C ports as opposed to just 1 here. Also, the PS5 Pro does support Wi-Fi 7. Now with my PS5 regular edition, I had to use an Ethernet cable in order to get the best speeds, because even though I have a Wi-Fi 6 modem and it's a really good one, the best speeds here are not great. So this 100 megabits per second over the cable is actually better than the Wi-Fi signal. So I'm just going to do a really quick speed test with the PS5 versus the PS5 Pro over Wi-Fi. Let's see what happens. Okay, so first let's do the PS5 regular edition with the fastest network that it can connect to here. So we'll go to network and we'll run a little test of the connection. Now, as you can see, it's a 5G network, so it should be pretty fast, but the PS5 Pro does support Wi-Fi 7, so we're getting 241.9 megabits per second. That's actually very good, and it's the best that I've seen it in a long time. That's why I always use the cable. Anyway, now let's hook up the PS5 Pro. There we go. So I am impressed, 362 megabits per second, significantly faster than the regular PS5. I'm happy to see that, and I don't think I'm going to be using the Ethernet cable anymore. So I lost the disk drive, but I have gained an extra 100 megabits per second when it comes to Wi-Fi. Okay, so now it's the moment of truth. Did I waste my money or not? Well, it's going to be hard to tell straight away because I'm not going to wait the day to install all my old games, including Call of Duty, which is pretty much the only game I play now, even though I get my ass kicked on a regular basis. However, there is a game installed here, and it is Astro's Playroom, and I have played this on the regular PS5 disc machine that I had. So let's see if there's any noticeable differences here. I don't know if it's just me, but the sound sounds better, but I could just be imagining that, I don't know. I mean, this game really isn't the most graphic intense game out there. So honestly, it's going to be hard for me to say how much better the PS5 Pro is at this point until I install all the games and that means waiting a day to install everything. It did look to me like it was offering to copy all of my Call of Duty data over from Black Ops, which I just bought. So if that works without the disc, I'm going to be very happy. But first impressions of the PS5 Pro, I'm really happy about the Wi-Fi and the extra storage, the extra USB-C ports. I like the new redesign as well. I'm not that happy about having to buy a new stand for it though, and possibly the disc drive, since I do have a lot of disc games. But generally speaking, first impressions, I'm happy with my purchase. Also, I can now sell my PS5 and get some of that money back. And I guess the question whether I wasted my money or not, only time will tell. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. This one was completely off the cuff, unrehearsed. And if you did stick around this far into the video, I appreciate you guys the most. And definitely hit me up on Twitter X with your questions about the PS5 Pro, if you have any. And if you'd like to see a follow-up video on this, like a tips and tricks guide or something, let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one. Don't be late.